Hello everyone, a very good morning to all. So we were discussing with the unit 1 of your inorganic chemistry semester 3rd syllabus, that is the unit is chemistry of elements of first transition series. So this is our 7th video. In the last video we discussed about the binary compounds and coordination complexes of chromium, and in this video we'll be continuing with the binary complexes of manganese, iron and cobalt. So let's get started. Here we have manganese. Electronic configuration of manganese is 3d5 4s2. It has total of 7 electrons in 3d and 4s subshell. So the highest oxidation state for manganese is 7, which is highest oxidation state of the 3D series. Major ore of manganese is pyrolusite, that is MnO2, from where if we want to obtain the pure manganese, that can be obtained via the reduction with aluminium, that is which is called as aluminothermic reduction. Then we can obtain pure manganese out of that. Before getting to the binary compounds of manganese, I would like to discuss briefly about a very important compound of manganese, which is a very strong oxidizing agent, that is KMnO4, which is also used in your volumetric titrations. So preparation of KMnO4 is done from the pyrolusite via fusing it with potassium carbonate in the presence of air, followed by oxidation with chlorine. So here it is treated with potassium carbonate, then we get this compound, and when this compound is further oxidized with the help of chlorine, then we obtain KMnO4. It is a very strong and well-known oxidizing agent. In acidic medium, its oxidizing action is like this, that it gets converted from its +7 oxidation state to +4 oxidation state and exhibits its oxidizing action with the release of oxygen. And in basic medium also it acts as a good strong oxidizing agent, and here also it gets converted from its +7 oxidation state to +4 oxidation state. So manganese exhibits the highest number of oxidation states in the first transition series. Its highest oxidation state is +7, where it loses all the 3d and 4s electrons, and lowest oxidation state is +2, which is most stable, as after losing 2 electrons it is left with 5 electrons in its 3d subshell, and that is the exactly half-filled electronic configuration for 3d. And manganese in its +2 oxidation state is paramagnetic in nature. Now we come to the binary compounds. Binary compounds generally include oxides and halides, which we are going to discuss. So in the +7 oxidation state, even in KMnO4, manganese exists in its +7 oxidation state, where the counter ion, where the anionic part is MnO4 negative. KMnO4 is very important as far as the volumetric analysis is concerned. This we have already done in your BSc first year, first semester course, practical course, inorganic practical course, where KMnO4 is used for the volumetric analysis, and it also acts as self-indicator in titrations. So the first binary compound which we are going to discuss is Mn2O7. Here manganese is in +7 oxidation state. Here Mn2O7 is obtained from KMnO4 via the reaction of KMnO4 with H2SO4, where it gets converted to Mn2O7. Mn2O7 is very reactive and reacts with explosion. Here we have discussed the structure of MnO4 negative. This is anion, and here this is the structure of Mn2O7, where it is formed by the dimerization of MnO4 negative. So that is why both the structures have been shown here. Here MnO4 negative has a tetrahedral structure with all the oxygens as equivalent, and overall charge on the anion is negative, 1 negative, and Mn2O7 is neutral with 1 oxygen bridge and with 3 oxygens each on each manganese, and arrangement of oxygens around the manganese is again tetrahedral in case of Mn2O7 also. So next binary compound, which is also an oxide, is manganese 4 oxide. Here manganese is in +4 oxidation state. This is the only important manganese 4 compound. This is insoluble in water but reacts very fast with acids to generate the salts. So here MnO2 when reacts with HCl we get MnCl2 in +2 oxidation state, and when it reacts with H2SO4 it gives us MnSO4, again manganese in +2 oxidation state. So here MnO2 is acting as oxidizing agent and itself getting reduced from +4 oxidation state to +2 oxidation state. Next we come to manganese 3 oxide, formula is Mn2O3. Manganese 3 is generally unstable and it easily undergo disproportionation to Mn2 plus and Mn4 plus by the action of water. Next we come to manganese 3 halides. Out of all the halides known for manganese, only MnF3 is known out of all the halides. So there is not much to discuss about MnF3. It is the only known halide of manganese. So next we have manganese 2 compounds. Manganese 2 is very stable oxidation state of manganese. This we have already discussed due to D5 electronic configuration, which is exactly half-filled for 3D section. So most of the complexes of manganese exhibits manganese in +2 oxidation state. Very famous and well-known complex of manganese in +2 oxidation state is its hexa-aqua complex and hexaamine complex. Here in both these complexes manganese is in its +2 oxidation state. One interesting point about manganese which I am going to tell you here is that although there are 5 unpaired electrons in when manganese is in +2 oxidation state in case of its complexes, but still these complexes are very feebly like pink colored complexes. They are not intensely colored. So the reason behind this thing is that when ligands approach any metal, here we are not specifying about manganese, when ligands approach any metal, there are two types of ligands actually. One are strong field ligands and others are weak field ligands. What strong field ligands do is, for strong field ligands, this energy gap which is created between two energy levels which are created for d orbitals, that is T2G level and EG level. This energy gap in case of strong field ligands is higher than the pairing energy, and in case of weak field ligands, this energy gap is less. And when strong field ligands approach any metal, what happens is high spin complexes are obtained that pairing doesn't take place because pairing energy is more in comparison to the pairing energy is less in comparison to the energy gap. So for high spin, so for weak field ligands, I think I have just reversed the explanation. For weak field ligands, high spin complexes are obtained. This is because where energy gap is less, there what will happen is electrons will get easily promoted to higher level instead of getting paired up. So when high spin, so two types of complexes are obtained, that is high spin and low spin, based upon the nature of the ligand. If the weak field ligands are there, then high spin complexes are obtained. If strong field ligands are there, then low spin complexes are obtained. So here water and ammonia comes in the category of weak field ligand, and cyanide and NO comes in the category of high spin ligands, strong field ligands. So they will generate low spin complexes. That means the complexes electrons will be paired in the lower state. So when it comes to the color of the complex, color is obtained due to the promotion of electrons from the lower energy state to the higher energy state by the absorption of this much energy equal to the energy gap, and this energy gap is belongs to the wavelength matches with the visible region. That is why the complexes are colored. So here what happens is when we promote electrons from the lower energy level to the higher energy level, the electrons are having same spin. So here these transitions are spin forbidden. When no paired electrons are present, that is weak field ligands are there and high spin complexes are there. But in case where there are paired electrons are present, what will happen? These electrons are not required to change their spin. So these transitions are spin allowed. So for spin forbidden transitions, I mean by spin forbidden word we mean that these transitions are not allowed if we consider the spin, because only those transitions are generally allowed where spin is not required to be reversed, and here it is not required to be reversed, so these transitions are allowed. Here these transitions are not allowed. So that is why the complexes with weak field ligands, or we can say the high spin complexes, are feebly colored, and these complexes would be colored. Also the next point is that when low spin complexes are there, the low spin complexes are very much reactive and they oxidize very easily. Here manganese is in +2 oxidation state, and this is a strong field ligand which will generate a low spin complex. So it will oxidize easily to give manganese in +3 oxidation state. This is all about the low spin and high spin complexes, and the reason behind the feebly colored pink colored light pink colored complex of with where the ligands are high spin is because of the spin forbidden thing which I have just discussed. So in addition to octahedral complexes, some square planar complexes are also known for manganese, and these are the example of square planar complexes of manganese. It is tetra-aqua complex of manganese in +2 oxidation state, and this is this Ac complex, that is acetyl acetonate, is a bidentate ligand. So here this is diacac compound with manganese, where manganese is in +2 oxidation state again. Next we have iron, the next compound. This is the electronic configuration with 8 valence electrons total in 3d and 4s subshell. So from this iron, from this element, we come to the next, the last 5 elements of the D series. This is the first element of the second group, second part of the elements which belong to the last 5 electrons, where the maximum oxidation state is not equal to the total number of electrons present in 3d and 4s subshell. So here 8 electrons are there, but maximum oxidation state for iron compounds is not +8, but it is +6. The major ores of iron are hematite, magnetite, and limonite. These are the formula corresponding to these ores. And the common oxidation states for iron are +2 and +3. So +3 oxidation state of iron is more stable in comparison to +2 due to +2 oxidation state is more prone to oxidation, and it will convert itself to iron +3 due to the exactly half-filled electronic configuration of the subshell. So the now coming to the binary compounds of iron, first we'll discuss about the oxides. These are the major oxides of iron, where the formula are FeO, Fe2O3, and Fe3O4. Now one important point about the about the oxides of iron, that these are non-stoichiometry in nature. That is, here the ratio of iron to oxygen is not the same as is depicted from the formula, but it actually is little bit less of iron and more of oxygen in it. That is, it is equal to Fe0.95 oxygen and Fe1.95 O3. So this is how the actual formula is, actual stoichiometry is. Next we have halides of iron. So all the trihalides of iron are known, that is fluorine, fluorides, chlorides, and bromides. But iodides for iron, triiodide, is not known because of the strong reducing property of iodide, that it reduces Fe3 plus to Fe2 plus. So one interesting point about iron 3 chloride is that it exists as dimer in its gaseous form. This is the structure of the dimer. This is an important compound. This is generally asked in exams, that to draw the structure of FeCl3 in the dimeric in the gaseous state. So this is to be kept in mind, that it exists in the form of dimer. Now we come to the complexes of iron. When we discuss about the complexes of iron, first complex, so iron 3 chloride crystallizes as hexahydrate complex. This is the formula for hexahydrate complex of iron. And Also, FeCl3 in concentrated HCl gives a tetrahedral complex with formula FeCl4 whole negative. Now, from the above discussion, we have known that Fe2 complexes are not much stable. They are very much prone to oxidation, but one complex is there, that is Mohr salt, where iron is in +2 oxidation state, where iron is very much stable in its +2 oxidation state and it doesn't lose water, so it is used as primary standard for volumetric analysis. Otherwise, if we have this complex here, it should be +2 instead of +3. So this is the correction required to be made here. So when these complexes are acidic in nature, that is, they tend to lose H positive, and here also it is +2, and we will easily get this complex out of this. And here iron is in +3 oxidation state, and here it is in +2 oxidation state. So here OH is having 1 negative and iron is having +3. So overall charge on the complex is 2+. So iron 2 complexes are generally hexahydrate complex of iron 2, that is here it is 2+, is very much prone to loss of one proton and convert iron to from iron from its +2 oxidation state to iron to its +3 oxidation state due to the better stability of iron 3. So next we talk about one more important organic detection test is there, that is the iron 2 compounds are used for the detection of NO3 negative, presence of NO3 negative anion, that is nitrate detection is done using Fe2+. So when it reacts with Fe2+ nitrate ions, we get the generation of this complex, which is a brown colored complex, which gives us very famous, very important test for the detection of nitrates, which is known as brown ring test for nitrates, which is wherein we put in ferrous chloride into the solution of nitrate ions, and if we get brown colored ring around the wall of the tube, that means there is a presence of, that indicates the presence of nitrate ion. This is according to this reaction that this complex is formed. The two more important complexes formed by iron 2 and iron 3 are, these are the two potassium complexes of iron 2 and iron 3, that is potassium ferrocyanide and potassium ferricyanide. Here iron is in +2 oxidation state in ferrocyanide, and in ferricyanide it is in +3 oxidation state. So when these are reacted with Fe3, first one when reacted with Fe3, yes, this second one is reacted with Fe2, we get two different complexes, that is Prussian blue and Turnbull blue, which are having similar structure if we consider them, if we study them spectroscopically, but their chemical behavior is different. They behave differently in aqueous medium, that is this complex is going to generate Fe3 plus ion aqueous medium, and this complex is going to generate Fe2 plus ions in aqueous medium, which will eventually get converted to Fe3 due to aerial oxidation. Also for iron, low oxidation state complexes are known. So the low oxidation state complexes of iron, these are the examples of low oxidation state complexes are of iron. These are generally formed with the ligands which are neutral in nature, that is carbon monoxide. So these are formed. The formation of these complexes, such complexes will be discussed in the last lecture, where I'll be discussing some important compounds from the whole chapter. So next we have cobalt. I think cobalt will be we will be discussing in the next video. So that is it for this video. In this video, we have covered two elements out of the 3D series of transition elements, that is manganese and iron. So that is it for today. Thank you so much. Have a good rest of the day.